Okay, people, welcome back to episode 5 of our ChatGPT game. I think that's what it's called, ChatGPT. I think so, I forgot. But today we are going to be carrying on with our AI created game where we are trying to create the Pong clone using only ChatGPT. Well, mainly for the generation of the code part of the game. Everything else we have to do ourselves. So today we're going to go back into the game and we are going to go ahead and start implementing the UI score part of the game so that we can show some sort of indication of the score for each player that is playing. And then once we've put it all up on the game, we are actually going to go into ChatGPT again and ask it to generate the code so that it can update the UI while the players are playing the game. So let's go into our code, into our game here, and this is where we left off yesterday. I think we have our game is working. We can now okay, you get the game, you get the point. The game is working. The only thing that we haven't done yet, which we will probably do in tomorrow's episode or the next one, whenever that is you can see now that we have no ball on the screen because it's been destroyed, because it hit the out of bounds zone, which is over here on the left side and on the right side behind each paddle. When it hits these out of bounds zone, it gets destroyed and it's no longer in the scene. So we will have to go and deal with that later. But today we are going to go into our scene view here, and I'm going to create a new UI text so that we can get our canvas on the screen. So let's import that first. So to do all of our UI, we have to go and actually put it in our game, and then the only thing we can use ChatGPT is to generate the code for us so that we can get it to work. Because ChatGPT is a text-based output AI system, so it can't actually do stuff in Unity for us. So we will do all of the Unity editor stuff, and ChatGPT will handle all of the code aspect of it. So we can close that. And then on our canvas, we can try and move this somewhere up here. Let's see. So I'm going to replace that with a 0 because it's only going to indicate the score. So we're going to need 2 of them. So this we can rename to player 1 score. Then we can copy and paste that, and this one we can rename to player 2 score. So we'll do that. So player 1 score, we'll put that at -150 because it's just making it a round number. And then this one we will put at 150 so that they are kind of equal. So let's go and see what that looks like. So I mean, it's not bad, but let's move it up a little bit. So player 1 we can go and put at -200. And then player 2 we will put at 200. So that looks better. So that's what we want to do with our score. So now we need to go and create another script. So we'll save that quick. So let's go into our project here, and in our scripts folder we can create a new C# script. This is going to be called, actually, where do we want to do this? We could probably do this in an existing script, in our out of bounds zone script. Yeah, we're going to do it in this script just so that we don't have to create another script. So let's go and delete this one because we don't need it. We will use our out of bounds zone script. So we'll delete that. So now let's go back to, let's cancel that. So we'll do everything in here, or ChatGPT will do everything in this script. So let's go and ask it to generate some code. So let's bring over our tab over here. So this is what we used in the previous episode, where we asked it to generate the code for destroying the ball as well as incrementing the score whenever the ball goes and hits the out of bounds zone. So we're going to use this code or this class that it's generated, and we're just going to add it. We're going to ask it to expand on this class. So let's go do that. So let's say let's go and say expand on the class on this C# class so that it updates two score labels to represent each player's score in the game. Let's see what it does with that. So I feel like that makes enough sense for it to go and expand the way we want it to. So the only thing that it should do different here is add two references for our text inputs, and so that we can drag them in through our editor, and then it should maybe bring back the update method, I think, so that it can find or can update the string whenever it gets changed or whenever a score gets added to it. So let's see. So it has got our text fields here. We might have to change that to use Text Mesh Pro though. And then what else is it doing? Player 2, okay, so it's updating that. So I think that should be fine. So let's go copy that. And then let's see, in our script over here, I think we can just select all of it and paste it. So that still should work. So I think that should be fine. So the only thing we have to do is we need to change this. So this needs to be, first of all, we need to go and say using Text Mesh Pro. And then here, this needs to be text. I think, oh, hold on, it's Text Mesh Pro. I can't remember which one it is. It is the funny one, the GUI or whatever it is called. G Pro, that one, there it is. So that's the one we need. So we'll copy that and paste that. So that's the only thing we have to change, hopefully. So let's go back into our game now, and we should see, actually I don't know if this is going to work though, because we're going to have to drag and drop them into two different fields. So on our out of bounds, we need to have, what happened to our out of bounds script? Let's have a look and see what's happening here. So score manager, oh, did it change the name of it? Let's go and see. Score manager, no, score manager. Oh, that's why. We changed the name. So this needs to be out of bounds script, out of bounds zone. So that should pick up now in the inspector here. So let's go back onto here into our out of bounds zones. And we should see now that the, okay, yeah, so there's our references that we need to drag in. The only problem now is we have two different what's it called, we have two out of bounds zones and they both need to be dragged in. So I don't know if this is going to cause a problem, but let's go and test it. So player 1 score will drag into there, and then player 2 score will drag into there. So let's go and play the game and see what happens. So that does not work. Okay. Let's see, event system, access vertical is not set up. I'm pretty sure we set that up in the previous, no, I don't want to do that. I'm sure we set up this in the previous episode, but let's go and see if it's changed anything. So input manager, vertical 2 and vertical 1, yeah, that's fine. I don't understand. So we'll close that. And let's just play the game again quick and see. Line. We'll clear that, play the game again quick and see if we get any settings. So let's go to edit settings, wherever that is, settings, where's settings? Project settings, input. That's fine. vertical 1, vertical 2. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. Where do we put our input? So on our paddle, left paddle is going to be player 1, and the right paddle is going to be player 2. Okay. So I feel like this, we need to get rid of that because we don't need that. I remember we got rid of that in the previous one. So now hopefully that should fix something. So our ball should get destroyed. So we will play this and have a look and see what that does. When it eventually loads, let's go and play it. So now that we got rid of that collision, when our ball does collide with okay, it doesn't get destroyed, but we do see that we have got a point there. So I'm gonna, okay, so it does, now it gets destroyed. So let's try that again, and let's try and get the ball to go on the side. So okay, so that works, that works, that works. Okay, so now let's try and get the ball to go into the out of bounds zone. So that works. As soon as the ball reaches this out of bounds zone, this player should get a point. Okay, that's cool. So we have got a little bit of bug there because the ball is not actually being destroyed. So let's go and see what's happening. So on collision, object.tag is equal to out of bounds left. Then we need to go and destroy the game object. So this is where we need to change it. So this needs to be the collision dot game object, because we want to destroy the object that collides with the out of bounds zone. Because the script is attached to both out of bounds zones, we need to go and destroy the object that collides into it, which is going to be the ball. So that means we have to say collision dot game object dot destroy, or destroy in brackets collision dot game object. That's it. So now this should work. So if the ball goes into the right hand side's boundary, the left hand side score should get a point, and the opposite for the left hand side boundary. So that goes into that boundary, and that one gets a point. Now let's try and make it go into the right hand boundary. I mean the left hand. Okay, so that's good. So that's working. So now the main thing that we have to do next is, first of all, we need to figure out this. Let's go in vertical 1. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of that because I don't think we really need that. Let's just see if the game still runs. Okay, it seems to be working fine, so that should be fine. So what's next? The next thing we need to do is we need to figure out a way to restart the game. Well, not restart the game, but let's go into our ChatGPT here and try and find the script that we used. No, not that one. Where is it? No. Goal script. I think we may have deleted it by accident. Maybe this is the one. Pong, paddle, Pong. Okay, so this is the one. But this is, we can't ask it to do anything because we got stuck over here where it just went in like an endless loop of generating, well, trying to generate the answer. But we can have a look in here and see what we need to do. So let's go back to our script quick, or rather our game. So whenever we go and destroy the ball, we want the ball to be positioned back into the middle of this game and also start again. So where do we have our Pong ball here? So I'm going to go back to here, and we need to go into our Pong ball, wherever that is. Paddle, Pong ball. Okay, so regenerate response. We need to try and figure out how to start asking. Okay, so we could probably do something in here. So ignore this for now. We're going to ask it to do something else because this is working fine, the Pong ball. So now we need to go and ask it to generate a starting position for the ball at the beginning of the game and record that position so that we can, when the ball does get destroyed, we can have some sort of reference to where we need to go and place the ball when it gets reinstantiated into the scene. So let's see, what are we doing here? Pong ball, let's go and see what's different. So this is where we had that problem where the ball was not bouncing off of the paddles properly. So we will ignore that for now. And in the, okay, that's still typing, but in here, let's go and, well, can we press that? Stop. Okay, so in here, we need to go and ask it to record the starting position of the ball when the game first launches. So let's go and do that. So let's go and say using, or if we can type in there, using the Pong ball script, add a method that stores the starting position of the ball at the So we need to record the starting position at the beginning of the game of the ball. So let's see what that generates. So it should be simple. We should just have a vector 2, I think, as a reference to the starting position, which it generates. And then at the in the start method, go and say transform.position is equal to the starting method. So that's pretty much all we need. So just because that's the only thing we need, I'm just going to copy that, and then we can go and paste that into here, which is there. So we'll get rid of that and paste that in there. We'll add a semicolon onto there. So that's pretty much all we need. So now what we can do now is go to our, where is it? I think it was, okay, let's have a look and see what it's done, because I see it's made a reset ball, so maybe that's helpful. So the script is attached to a game object that represents the ball in the Pong game. In the start method, the starting position of the ball is stored in the starting position vector. The new method called reset ball has been added, which sets the transform position of the ball to the starting position, sets the direction to a random direction in the positive x and the y direction, and sets the velocity of the rigid body 2D component to 0. Okay, you can call the reset method from another script whenever you need to reset the ball to its starting position, for example when the player scores a point. So that's pretty much exactly what we need. So let's go and copy that, and we will paste that into our script here. So paste it just underneath our collision method. The only problem with this is we don't want to set the velocity to equal to 0. Rather, we need to go and set it equal to this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, just because I think we generated this code by ourselves, let's just double check. Yes. So just because we did that by ourselves, I am going to go and cut that out, and let's do a little bit of a cheat here. We're not going to ask ChatGPT to do this, we'll do it ourselves. So here we will go and say add velocity, and then we'll end that off, and then we can go and create that here called private void add velocity, and then we can go and paste all of that in there, and then we can simply copy this and then paste this over here, so we can reuse that code more than once, so we don't have to type the same thing over and over again. So we'll save that, and now when we go and when the ball goes and, well, when the ball collides with our out of bounds zone, we need to call this reset ball script here. So what we can do in our, let's try and ask ChatGPT to do this. So the script that we were just working in now is, I think it was this one, Score Manager. Yeah, this is the one. So in here, let's go and say, what can we do? We need to ask it to call the other script's method so that it can reset the ball. So rewrite, or let's say let's say rewrite the script so that when the ball is destroyed, I think, what's the best way to do this? Well, let's say so that after the ball is destroyed, the reset ball method is called from another script called, what is that script called? It is called Pong ball. Let's see what it comes up with that. So I don't really know if you need to put this in these little marks here, but just because we want them to be called that exact same thing, I'm just putting in the quotation marks or whatever those marks are called. So let's see what it generates. So it should be exactly the same. The only difference is now it should have underneath our destroy method here, or destroy line over here, it should say reset game, or it should call the reset game. Pretty much like that. So let's go, we'll copy this and then we will paste it into our script and see if it works. So it should end off the script with brackets, and that's pretty much it. So let's go and copy this. So we don't need all of it, we'll just copy that. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to copy that, because then we have to get rid of that and then move that down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and then paste that where we need it, which is over here as well as over there. But then we need to get one more thing, and that is this line of code. So we'll copy that and then we shall paste that over there. So let's go. I feel like this is not going to work, but let's go and see if it works. Unity. So let's just read what it says first. So in the script, a Pong ball component is added to the private field Pong ball and obtained in the start method using the get component. Okay, so we need to go and get that. So let's go, well, we need to copy that and paste that over here so that we can go and get that component. Okay, so we'll save that, but now we need to make sure that our ball is actually called Pong ball. So let's go and see. So our ball is not called that, so let's go and see. Well, actually, no, it should be fine, because the component of, well, the script component should be on there called Pong ball, which it is. So you know what? Let's go and play the game and see if it works. So method using get component method. The reset ball method is called from the Pong ball script after the ball is destroyed in both the outbounds left and outbounds right cases. The Pong ball script must contain the reset ball method for this code to work. If it's not implemented yet, you'll need to create it and add the logic to read. Okay, but we've already done that. So let us save that and then jump into the game and see what happens. So let's press play. When this builds up, then we can see what happens, and hopefully it works. So we're going to leave the ball. Okay, so clearly there's something wrong here. So object reference not set to an instance of an object. Okay, so out of bounds zone, line 33, Pong ball dot reset ball. So it does go straight to that thing, straight to that method, so that's fine. Interesting. So let's see. Maybe we might need to change this over here, wherever it is. So in our start method here, we will have to go and say, I'm just going to add something here, and this is going to be a serialized field, and we'll call this game object ball. And then I'm going to say Pong ball is equal to ball dot get component Pong ball off of that. So now that should be fine. So we can go into our Unity editor here, wait for it to build up, and then we'll have to drag that in to here. But you see, the thing about this that I don't like is that we need to drag it in. We need to drag the ball into both of our out of bounds zones. So that's something I don't like. But you know, we're just trying to see if ChatGPT can make a game for us, and clearly it can. So let's go and see if it works, and it'll be fine for now. So we shouldn't get that error anymore. But we see we don't get a ball. Missing object, okay. So we might need to create a prefab out of that, and then store some sort of reference to the ball. Okay, I have a feeling I know what's happening here. So first of all, this video is quite long, so we might, I don't know, should we finish it in this episode? What we have to do is we need to go and create a prefab out of the ball, and then reinstantiate the ball, because it's not really working, because once the ball is destroyed you can't really go and reposition it because it's no longer in the scene. So that's a bit of an issue. So I think we'll end this video over here, and then in tomorrow's episode, or the next one, whenever that is, we will go and handle the reinstantiation of the ball and reposition it and add the velocity onto it. So where's this? Ooh, running out of end screen. Okay, right screen. So next episode we'll go handle the reposition of the ball as well as finish off the game. So that's it for today. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully this game is fun using ChatGPT to generate the code. But that's it for now, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's episode, or the next one, whenever that is. So goodbye for now.